Hi guys, and welcome back to Clearview Driving. My name is Aman, and today I'm actually starting a new series where I'm going to be reviewing cars for new and for young drivers. So if you've got a car in mind, make sure to leave it down in the comments, and don't forget to like this video to show that you actually want to watch more videos like this. Today we're looking at the VW Polo IG50, a really popular choice, especially for new drivers. I'm going to break it down properly. What is it actually like to drive this car? How practical is it? What's good? What's not so good? And does it actually make sense as your first car? First impressions. The Polo is a small car, but it doesn't feel cheap or basic. VW has always been good at making their cars feel a bit more premium than other cars in the same class. And you can tell straight away. The IG50 edition has a clean look, nothing too flashy, but it's still modern enough that it doesn't feel outdated. Now let's talk about size, because this is where a lot of new drivers tend to get it so wrong. On paper, it's a small hatchback. In reality, it's a very practical car. It's a 5-seater and the space in the back is actually decent. From the outside, it looks compact, which is good for parking in tight spaces, but inside, it's surprisingly roomy. You've got enough legroom here at the back for passengers. Okay, so I've now moved that seat all the way back. So let's say somebody who's really tall is sat in front of me. I've still got space to sit. My legs are a little bit cramped. I really can't move around very much. But yeah, if they were to share that space a little bit, I would be fine. So just to show you for comparison, this is my seat all the way back. I actually can't reach the pedals. I am stretching, so I would never really have my seat like this. I'd have it something like this. So the person behind me is not going to be worried about how much space they've got. And the boot space is more than enough for day-to-day use, whether that's going to be your shopping bags or for a couple of suitcases. That balance is important. The car is small enough to drive confidently, but not big enough that you're sacrificing comfort or practicality. Now, moving on to driving it, this is where the Polo really stands out for new drivers. The steering is light, which makes it easy when you're doing low-speed maneuvers like parking or turning into tight roads, but it's not too light where it feels disconnected. You still get enough feedback to feel in control, which is exactly what you want when you're building confidence. The size of the steering wheel is actually well judged. It's not oversized, it's not too small, and it's adjustable, so you can sit in a position that actually suits you. Now that's something a lot of people overlook, but having the correct driving position makes a big difference, especially when you're learning or you've newly passed. Visibility is another strong point in this car because the windows are large enough that you get a clear view all around. The pillars aren't overly thick, so you don't get massive blind spots like you do in some of the other newer cars. As a new driver, this is critical. Being able to clearly see what's happening around you reduces stress and makes things like lane changing and parking much easier. You've also got decent mirror placement, so checking your surroundings becomes more natural rather than something that you're thinking about constantly. Inside the car, the interior is simple, but it works. Everything is laid out in a logical way. You don't have to go digging through menus or guessing where the controls are. For a new driver, that matters because the last thing you want is distractions. The Polo comes with Apple CarPlay, which is a big advantage. Instead of messing around with your phone, you can connect it so that you have your sat-nav, music, and calls integrated into the screen. That means your phone stays out of your hands and your focus stays on the road. For new drivers, this is huge. One of the biggest risks early on is getting distracted, even for a few seconds. Having everything accessible in a controlled, built-in system reduces that risk massively. The clutch in this car is actually quite progressive, which helps you learn smooth moving off without stalling. Now I've got a roundabout. Let's test the steering wheel on this car. So I can turn it quite easily. It's really light at low speeds, and I don't have to actually turn loads either. Poor habits would be if you were to lift the clutch up too quickly and the clutch doesn't support how you're moving off, or you've not got that smooth acceleration, which this car is actually really quite good. I can drive through the gears quite nicely, smooth control on the steering, acceleration, and the steering wheel. In terms of performance, the IG50 isn't about speed, and that's not a bad thing. It's designed to be efficient and easy to handle. The acceleration is smooth, not aggressive, which actually helps you stay in control, especially in traffic or urban driving. It's comfortable on normal road speeds, and it handles well on corners without feeling unstable, and it helps to build confidence rather than intimidating you. I need a fairly big gap because I'm in a 1-litre car. I'm getting up to 70. I think after this second car, I'm going to take it slowly, moving forward. Yep, I'm going to accelerate. The clutch is actually really easy. It doesn't slip out too quickly. Going into the next gear. There we go. We're up to 40 miles per hour. And now I've got another sign which shows me we're going to go into a single carriageway. So this was a dual carriageway. Oh wow, the steering wheel really pushed me as I took my hand off there. That's because of the the white lines that I had there. Fuel efficiency is another strong point. It's cheap to run, which is exactly what most new drivers need. One more important thing to talk about, especially if you're a new driver, is insurance group. The VW Polo range in general sits in insurance groups between 1 to 23, depending on the engine and spec. For a model like the IG50, which is usually a smaller engine and a lower powered version, the insurance groups are usually between 1 to 8, but this may increase slightly depending on your exact spec. In the UK, insurance groups go from 1 to 50, 1 being the cheapest to insure and 50 being the most expensive. So being in a lower group is exactly what you want as a new driver. Lower groups means cheaper insurance, generally speaking. Now that's one of the biggest reasons the Polo is so popular. You're getting a car that's solid and well built, but without the high insurance costs you'd normally expect. Now let's talk about what could be improved, because no car is perfect, except for mine. First, the power. If you're someone who wants quick acceleration and motorway performance, this car is not going to impress you. It does the job, but it's not exciting. For overtaking at higher speeds, you may feel it takes a bit longer than you'd like. Secondly, the interior. While it is well built, it can feel a bit plain. VW tends to go for minimal, functional design. Some people like that. Others might feel it's a bit boring compared to competitors that have more colourful and visual features. Another point is the infotainment responsiveness. While CarPlay is useful, the system itself isn't always the fastest. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something you notice if you're used to quicker systems. And finally, the price. Compared to other smaller cars, the VW Polo is slightly more expensive, but you're paying for that VW brand quality and reputation, but that is something to consider depending on your budget. Alright, so overall, is the VW IG50 a good car for new drivers? Yes, and there's a clear reason why it's so popular. It's easy to drive, easy to see out of, and it's practical despite its size, and it keeps distractions to a minimum using features like Apple CarPlay. It's not flashy or overly powerful, it's designed to give you confidence, which is exactly what you need when you're first starting out. If you want a first car that's solid, safe and predictable, the VW Polo IG50 is definitely one to consider. If you've got any other cars that you want me to review on this channel, make sure to drop it down in the comments and be sure to like this video. That helps this channel grow and lets me know that you want to see more reviews on this channel like this. So that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!